these peanuts are ready to go out. If you're new, you might be wondering, why am I planting peanuts? Last year, I planted peanuts for fun, and I noticed the plants that were next to the peanuts grew so much bigger than the others, which makes sense. Peanuts, it is a legume, and it does put nitrogen into the soil, so it feeds your plant. So I decided this year, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and put a peanut next to every plant, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I have a tomato right here, and I put it right in front of it. One of the things I like about peanuts is that they stay low to the ground. So they're not going to be drowning out your plant or climbing. The peanuts did well too, even if they were shaded a little bit by the plant that they were growing underneath. And it worked as a nice ground cover too, to keep those weeds from growing up. Some hairy vetch. I use it kind of as a cover crop over the fall winter. It's also a legume. I like my legumes. I planted a bunch of soybeans this year too and mixed them in quite a bit. In fact, I have more in my greenhouse I need to put out. They're not as low to the ground like peanuts are. They are a little bit taller, so we'll kind of see how that works. My husband Nathan, he lived in Japan for a few years as a child, and one of the things that he noticed a lot of the children like to eat and the adults was kind of a treat. It's called natto. It's a fermented soybean. As a kid, he always thought they looked so gross and it had a very strong smell. But as an adult, he'd like to try it, so I was like, you know what, let's do some soybeans this year. I mean, kind of fun. We're big on fermenting foods here. It's a very nutritious way to preserve your food and easy. So we're gonna be doing a lot more of that this year. A lot of fermenting going on. Lily's in the back here. She's helping me. She's a great little helper. I'm hoping to have enough peanuts this year to eat, but also save for my crop next year. I'd like to save as many seeds as I can for my plants so that I can become more self-sufficient. I don't have to go to the store to buy them. Isn't this lovely? All this hairy vetch just blooming. We'll see how tall it gets. I'm going to be planting a lot of marigolds under my plants as well, as a way to help drown out the weeds, but also those marigolds will help keep the white flies away. Because remember, they produce that limonene, and it has been scientifically proven. I really don't like to pull up my weeds. I just try to bury it heavily as much as possible. Every once in a while, of course, things need to be pulled up. I like to not disturb my soil. I'm going to try to cover the floor with lowered things to drown out the weeds. And we'll see how that works this year. See this? This is all that Dutch clover I put up a week and a half ago. It's another legume. It's growing good. It likes all those cooler nights. So y'all don't have to grow your legumes, peanuts, in a container. That's just what works best for me. I had a lot of issues with my beans and stuff just turning to mush in the ground when I plant them out because I can't control how much it rains, and it's been generally pretty wet out here and humid. So I decided this year I'm going to plant them in containers, and it's worked out really well for me. That way I can control how much water they're getting. I'll see how far I get with these peanuts, and I might be putting some peanuts into the ground. I'll just try to put enough out because I know I'll lose some to turn it into mush. I see I've got some weeds on this row. I'm going to be mowing this week and also cleaning out that chicken house, so I'll have a lot more stuff I can put on top to bury those weeds. I'm excited though because, what on earth is that? Oh, I just dug up a carrot. Look at those little tiny carrots. You see that? I have carrots randomly here and there. Yeah, this is what this is here. I gotta be more careful. But I'm excited though. This is my first year putting peanuts next to tomatoes. Last year I put them next to my tobacco, and they got really huge. Now tomatoes are semi-heavy feeders, but you can't overfeed them. If you give them too much nitrogen, they'll get super, super big, lots of foliage, but no fruit. They'll drop their flowers. But I'm not worried about that with the peanuts. I think it will balance out just perfectly. Now this garlic and onions that I've got growing up within my plants here, I planted that back in the fall, and it's doing great. And I did this some last year, where I mixed in my garlic, and then I just went ahead and started planting to my tomatoes and everything in the springtime, and everything grew with each other just fine. So I decided I'm going to do that again because I only have so much room. It's also a great way to create some diversity in your garden. Tomorrow, chasing after a spider. She ate her first toad a few days ago. Her mouth got all foamy. I hope she learned her lesson, because I like my toads. Mara. Oh my goodness, you ate it. Is that tasty? Guess she likes her bugs. Alright y'all, it's probably going to be a little bit of a quick video this time. I'm going to go ahead and finish up all this planting. But next time I'm excited because we got one more cattle panel. And I'm excited to show you where I'm going to be putting it. Alright y'all, thanks for hanging out with me. Take care, and we'll see you next time.